spots now, transitioning to the one-on-one format. Round 4, Heat 1. An epic showdown, Goofy versus regular. Hawaii versus Australia. Tatiana Weston-Webb takes on Nikki Van Dijk.
Tyler Wright's had that winning feeling. Sally Fitzgibbons is hot on the heels of those ladies, so it's a good mix-up.
Now watching Nikki Van Dijk set up this wave. Rosie watching this one from the channel. Forehand carve back into the pocket. Sets up that forehand hook again. Taps the lip and she goes down. So a delayed start. 7 minutes already drifting off the clock. Nikki now will take the lead and kind of move towards the top 5 picture. That's where Tatiana Weston-Webb is sitting right now, just at stop number 3. Let's look back to see what happened here.
Yeah, 7 minutes went by and Nikki decided to roll the dice. Beautiful wraparound cutback, which gets her right into the power source of the wave. That's better right there, just putting a little bit more effort in, and then tries just that one more turn, mistiming that last maneuver. So with 22 minutes remaining, Nikki Van Dijk draws first blood.
With all those models for the world's best to compete for world titles. Watching this now is Tatiana Weston-Webb. Hits it off the top, and now she's got that nice top turn wrap. Here comes an end section coming towards her, and she'll attack it, laying low for the completion, and a good answer back.
Yeah, just a 4.33 for Nikki Van Dijk, so anything over that will give Tatiana the lead.
In the lineup, and also next to the lineup, you see that happen in Chopu and Fiji, Pipeline, where they become the heroes. Obviously on the big wave tour, the Water Patrol are so well focused and trained. They're some of the best watermen in the world. As we now look back at Tati's wave.
Yeah, this first turn really important. Connected nicely now, back out on the open face. She decides to just come back through the inside. That beautiful wraparound cutback sort of really did set that last maneuver up. Managing to fit 3 good turns in, and it's looking like a slight advantage for Tatiana there, Joe.
At the Australian Open, so we're expecting her to let go and feel confident in this matchup. Fighting through the breeze, Tatiana Weston-Webb will pick off this right. Nice backside snap for Tati. Just plays with the whitewater. She'll get out, and that'll be her second scoring right.
Yeah, good move right there. Obviously trying to sell Nikki on that one. Nikki wasn't buying into it, so Tatiana rolled the dice. It's not going to be quite as big as her first wave, but it's going to be a nice little backup and put a little bit more pressure on Nikki. 17 minutes and 20 to go, so not a lot of waves being ridden, Joe. A little bit inconsistent, so it just basically puts a lot more focus on that priority and making sure you've got it at the right time. Let's have a look at Tatiana's wave here. I like this first turn. Nice jam right there, a little bit more critical, and got that sort of nice flow going. That first turn so important to then set you up for the rest of the wave. If you miss that big turn out the back, then it's going to hinder your scoring potential for sure.
Here comes Nikki Van Dijk with a big windup. Just taps it off the top, trying to stretch this one out. Now she'll redirect. So changing her mind through the mid part of that wave, and she'll get a little closeout hack on the inside. So now 2 waves to come in. Last of Tatiana Weston-Webb to back up the 5-5. And Nikki still chasing with 16:30 to go.
Yeah, Tatiana just a 4.0 on wave number 2. So Nikki Van Dijk needing a 5.18 if she wants the lead. Just some small scores here just to kick things off. I'm sure the ladies will crank it up as this heat does progress. I think the thing with today, Joe, it's going to be real tricky, is that when there's those lulls, you've really got to be vigilant with your positioning in the lineup. It's going to be so easy to sort of drift out of position and then miss those big sets that come through. And if you do that, you might not get another opportunity, because it is pretty inconsistent right now. Great in the barrel, not scared of the big stuff, so she's definitely going to be one to watch in the future.
Paddling hard for this wave, our heat leader, Tatiana Weston-Webb, trying to improve on a 4. Times this right well. Now into her second move on the open face with the backhand carve. There's the lip showing up. Nice clean backhand re-entry. Fits one in the whitewater. Avoids the rocks. And now Van Dijk on the next wave. Getting a lot of board speed, but not finding much as she's already on the rocks there with 14:25 to go.
You know, Joe, I kind of thought maybe Tatiana had made a little bit of a mistake there by catching that small wave, but it just kind of stood up nicely and allowed her to do some big turns on it. So she's going to replace that 4.0, which is her second highest score, and increase her lead on Nikki Van Dijk. Let's have a look. See, it wasn't one of the biggest set waves, but nice positioning, good timing on that backside snap. And it's just set her up nicely. You can see how she's just waiting for the wave to stand up, and then she unloads. So some good surfing there from Tatiana. Nice, clean, mistake-free. Took her time with it as well. Nikki Van Dijk out the back on a bit of a bigger one. Nice opening turn for her. And this is where it kind of ran away from her, and she sort of did that rail work and then decided to kick out before that really shallow section.
Well, Rosie, what's it like to play a spoiler role? Are you thinking that, like a Tati, Nikki right now? Or are they going, okay, I want to upset Sally in the next heat?
I don't think that's really your ideal situation. I think it's always just thinking about your own game and you doing well. I mean, you're either on the side of requalification that you're looking to get on the tour for next year, or you're going for that world title, or you have a personal goal of making maybe the top 5. The ladies couldn't be complaining. I think there's been a lot of lulls, but you don't really get too cold with this warmer offshore wind.
Talk to me about the lulls, Rosie. I mean, it seems like they're more often.
Yeah, definitely, Putz. I think you're seeing the ocean really going flat. You can look over to Southside for a bit of an indicator whether a set's going to come, but it has been a lot more lully than what we saw earlier this morning.
Back in the day, and now watching this little set roll in for Tati and Nikki Van Dijk. At the 10-minute mark, it's going to be Nikki setting up that big forehand carve. Perfect redirect in the pocket. Stretches that one out. Slopey open face, but keeps her speed. Now into the pocket, running after a finishing move. A warbly lip line. She'll tap it shut and get out of there. With Tati improving to a 6.17 on her third wave, Nikki needed a 7.17 to go into first.
Definite step in the right direction there for Nikki Van Dijk. Just looking to replace a 4.33. 9.5 minutes to go, so plenty of time. Even if she doesn't get that 7.17, she's going to build confidence from that exchange. That was a good set wave. Nice opening maneuver. I love that big drawn out bottom turn straight into that wrap. So nice beginning to the wave. Really important to get that good start, Joe. Otherwise that wave kind of goes a little fat. And if you haven't got that big dynamic turn out the back, you're going to not really get those big points. So Nikki Van Dijk kicking goals there with that first opening maneuver, and then finished off nicely through the inside.
Her third wave of 4.5, but a better wave on the way. It's already starting to cap out the back, and Tatiana's in the right spot. The goofy footer setting up a big first turn, straight up and vertical, nails it. Perfect transition, late hit off the top. Can Tati hang on? And she ends up incomplete. Almost a huge two-turn combo. Western Europe. We've got a big coastline here, and it's pristine with a ton of waves to choose from. We chose Margaret River for the spot on the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. It's stop number 3, the drug-aware Margaret River Pro. We're down to 6 minutes on the clock. Tatiana Weston-Webb still with the lead of 5.5 and a 6.17. Nikki got a 6.4 on her last, and while we were away, Nikki kept on swinging pots.
Yeah, she's definitely got herself right back in the mix here. 5.27 required by Nikki Van Dijk. Is she going to get around this section? She needs more if she wants that score, and that's not going to help her out. So Nikki Van Dijk starting to find that rhythm, starting to build some sort of momentum.
You can see how tight they are positioned in this lineup from the sky. It's up to Tati if she wants this wave with priority, and she will make that decision. Holding off Van Dijk. Let's see if she can make it count. Snaps it off the lip, under the lip hack, weightless on the landing. She'll pull that one off. Puts her feet back in position. Now all setup work with an oncoming section, but not enough room to wind up for it.
Yeah, a couple of little mistakes on that wave there, but some critical surfing from Tatiana. 4 minutes remaining now. Nikki Van Dijk with priority. Is Tatiana going to improve her situation? Joe, she needs to better a 5.50. Anything above that is going to push that requirement a little bit further out for Nikki. Let's have a look. Nice solid set wave here. Nice snap right there. So good opening turn. And this is where it got really critical. Almost lost that front foot right there. Great recovery from Tatiana, and then she tried to milk it all the way through the inside. So not too much more scoring potential on the inside of that one. So it's going to have to be on the merit of those first 2 turns.
She's been leading this heat for 94% of the matchup. Nikki's been spending more time with priority, but now she's making a move. Only needing a 5.47. The Australian floats the first section. Out in front. Had to fill in the gaps with a carve. Now it's just going to the finish. She needs to stomp this thing to come close, and she'll go down.
Wow, that was critical right there, Joe. She needed to ride out of that. There just wasn't enough scoring potential out the back, so Tatiana, here she goes, victory lap.
She's going to close this one out. Just a quick look. Now with 30 seconds on the clock, Nikki put herself in a position to fight back. Unfortunately, that mid part of the wave didn't give her much to work with.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. You've got to really make sure you get that big snap out the back. Do that rail work through that midsection where the wave goes dead, and then finish off strong. So Nikki did all the hard work, but then just missed that end section. So that's going to come back to haunt her. Had she pulled that off, quite easily have got that 5.47.
So another tough heat for Nikki Van Dijk, as she has repeat 9ths to start the season. But remember, she did her quarterfinal streak late towards the back end of the year, so she has some of her favorite events still to come later on this season. Tatiana, Weston-Webb will move on to the quarterfinals to take on Sally Fitzgibbons as this one continues.